So, World of Warcraft Midnight, we just got some information from the developers earlier today, and it is causing quite a bit of controversy. And I want to go over my honest thoughts as a new player and someone who's trying to get really heavily invested into the game. There was a article that I can link in the description that's on Wowhead right now. But this to me is the real big selling point of what's happening here. If you don't know, they're reworking all 40 specs and they're really trying to simplify the game down. And in some ways, I think that's great by removing add ons and a million add ons, although I don't 100% trust their implementation, but the thought process of that is really good. But this right here is key. Looking ahead, we hope these changes open the door to World of Warcraft for more players and are another step towards WoW being a game for everyone. If you felt overwhelmed by what it takes to start playing or intimidated by picking up a new spec, we hope you'll give it a try. Or if you wanted to build your skills to tackle harder content but don't know where to start, we hope that Midnight brings clarity you need. If you don't know, I probably am the last new World of Warcraft player. I'll be honest with you. This game is similar with League of Legends, is struggling to really acquire a newer audience. And well, look, I'm just going to be honest with you. The reason is the UI is all over the place and you kind of don't really know what's happening. Shout out, I'm just watching Yoda TV randomly, right? Now, I just recently did a couple mythics, so I'm kind of understanding it a little bit. But I mean, if you look at this, how could you tell what's happening, right? There's an action bar on the side here. You have 4 rows of full action bars, another one on the bottom. You have your teammates and all of their action bars right here, or at least their main skills, I think. I don't even know what that is to kind of see their cooldowns to synergize with them. You don't really know what's happening on the floor. There's so many different visual effects. I mean, this particular fight isn't that bad, but when you go into a fight, you hear bah, like you have to get an add-on just to know, hey, move out the circle. And this is a game that I will be honest with you. I haven't enjoyed a game like this in years. I'm loving every moment of it. I'm trying to learn it and digest it and figure it out, but it's a lot. Like it's a lot. I mean, I spent 5 hours the other day just watching videos on the basics, right? And I mean, all you got to do is a quick Google search. Has World of Warcraft having a problem find new players? I mean, there's Reddit threads from a year ago. Blizzard admits to it themselves. Blizzard admits WoW is rough for new players and plan to fix that. We know what we have to. We have a lot of work to do. I mean, there's so many different places you can go and see this. And with Midnight, well, that's the work that they're doing. They are doing that work to try to fix this, right? Well, the problem is there's a divide. And I understand the divide, right? I mean, if you go through Twitter threads, you can check on Reddit, people are very annoyed with this change. And it's a very big leap of faith that Blizzard is doing, where they're changing specs, they're getting rid of certain abilities. They don't want it to just be a memorization. I can't even pronounce the word. I'm autistic. Took too much Tylenol. But they don't want you to just memorize a million different keybinds, right? And you could say, well, hey, the game is really easy once you figure it out. You really just need to get it down to 4 or 5 keybinds and your cooldowns. You got to manage your cooldowns. And that makes sense. But getting to that point, I think, is a problem, right? When you look at Classic, one of my homies just brought this up in chat earlier. Classic is way more dumbed down gameplay wise, and Classic is more about the journey of getting there. The problem with Classic is if you want to try to get to the end game and the raids, well, that's like 50, 60 hours if you're optimal. And once you get there, that's it, right? Like you have PvP, and other than that, you're cooked. And not a lot of people want to sit down and put 50 to 60 hours into a game and learn how to play it. And you don't get mounts for a long time and whatnot. Problem with the retail is, well, the leveling experience is a joke. I personally enjoyed it, but it was a joke, right? And now you're at the point where, okay, you're leveled. You are not prepared to learn to do mechanics like this. You are not prepared for this encounter. I actually know this key. I'll probably upload it to YouTube eventually. But there is no balance. There is no in between. And I think Blizzard is trying to find this in between with World of Warcraft Midnight, but I'm very, very, very concerned of how the implementation is going to go and how the community is going to react, right? I mean, if you think about it, with retail, you level up very fast and you could get to endgame. I think I got to endgame. I played casually for like 3 weeks, right? 3-ish, 4 weeks. And it's doable, and you probably get it done quicker than that. But them kind of changing the core mechanics of the game for people to have a easier level of entry when a lot of them probably might not step into mythics or raids is a very interesting design choice that I just don't know how that's going to go. Right? I mean, we have very, very different reactions and different receptions, right? Tony Soprano's crazy, by the way. Thank God it was finally getting beyond ridiculous. The fact that the button rotation even began to exist is evidence rough of how crazy it's gotten. If you know, in game, there's a one button rotation. You click this one button, it does everything for you, right? So that's interesting. Bring back classic rotations without losing depth as cap. Yeah, they're trying to simplify the game without losing depth. And I don't know if that's going to happen. If you're mad, you need grass, lots of it. I read most of the class list changes and I'm impressed. They haven't done that in a long time. In fact, I don't remember them doing such big changes to classes ever. This is great. I was expecting myself to stick to Demon Hunter, but Survival Hunter looks great. We go to this thread here from Wowhead. I like playing my class more than I like playing the encounter, the dungeon, a mode, or whatever. You take away the depth from classes, and I'm out. And they're right. 90% are casuals. No reason to make a class with 20 different buttons. I agree with that. Even easier after the one button rotation assist. This is exactly how Final Fantasy XIV destroyed their game. Actually, a horrible change. Dedicated time to learning and improving at your class makes the gameplay so much more enriching. Terrible changes on the horizon from the looks of it. Some classes can be easy, but not all. Like the game is already easy year. They make every year, I'm sorry, they make everything easier because there's still people who don't want to learn rotations. They add a single button rotation, a rotation button. Every class is easy, and even then they want to dumb it down even more. Ridiculous, right? And so, listen, it's a very mixed response. And I'm just curious to see how the implementation will go. Because again, I'm not mad at them removing the million add-ons. I think I've been trying to play the game without add-ons. I think I might have 2 or 3 active at most because I knew that this was coming, right? But we'll have to see, man. I think a lot of people are going to be upset with this. Maybe some new casuals might be happy for a little bit, and maybe they turn into hardcore players like myself. I'm trying. I really want to get into this game's like complete end game. I only did a Mythic 2 a couple times, but some of them are just like, oh, this is cool, and then they'll stop playing. And then you're gonna have the hardcore fan base who might just say, this is boring. I'm out. Right? So Blizzard is trying to do the impossible here and trying to make this digestible. But how can they make this digestible? I don't know. I read some of the changes they're making to the add-ons. Those changes seem pretty decent. But the rotation stuff and trying to make, everything more streamlined, I just don't know how you do that. So very interesting stuff. Let me know what you think. Is this positive for the game? Is this negative for the game? Do you really think new people are going to come play this game? I don't know. World of Warcraft already kind of has a negative stigma to it. You got to know life it. You got to know all these things. I don't know if this changes it. And it's a Blizzard product, right? So that's also a negative stigma right there. But yeah, those are my quick thoughts. And with that being said, I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.